Hello, welcome to SportsBet TV with me, Paul Alster. I'm delighted to be here with you once again, and I'm looking forward to what promises to be a really terrific day's action on Saturday, but of course, a very good weekend of racing. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. SportsBet all about picking horses at decent odds. That's something I've been doing for 2.5 years now on the service, and with quite a lot of success, as I'm sure many of you are well aware. But if you're new to the service, please press the subscriber button just below this screen. Well, there was just the one selection last week, and I took a chance on a really big prize runner at the Breeders' Cup, certainly outrun its odds. That was Mise en Scène, who eventually finished sixth in the Breeders' Cup filly and mare, won by Aidan O'Brien's Tuesday, who came with a terrific late rattle to score. Mise en Scène had been stalking the pace and moved up to try and make an effort over a furlong out. She just wasn't quite good enough, but she certainly justified her place in the lineup, and she certainly wasn't the long odds chance that they had put her up to be, but not good enough for us to make a little profit even on the each way there on that occasion. That's the problem when you only have the one chance with just the one selection. But of course, in recent weeks, I have started Out in Front on Patreon service, and things have been going pretty well there with some nice tasty winners recently at 16 to 1, 8 to 1, 7 to 1, 5 to 1 recommended, and other nice priced big placed odds. So if you're interested in getting a piece of the action, this is what you have to do. Hello, I'm Paul Alster. Since July 2020, my followers have enjoyed some really great success here with my regular Saturday and festival tips here at SportsBet TV. Well, now I'm offering an enhanced tipping service called Out in Front, aiming for plenty of big odds selections on far more racing days. So to continue receiving my profitable and enjoyable each way and often long odds racing selections, sign up now on Patreon for my low-cost, brand new live tipping service where you can interact with me and ask questions and comment in real time. So signing up to Out in Front only takes 2 minutes. First, choose a membership, then sign up, add a payment method, and then you'll get all the benefits of being an Out in Front member. I can't wait to see you, so sign up to the new Out in Front real-time tipping service with me, Paul Alster. So that's my Out in Front subscription service, which is definitely worth a look. And I will just tell you a quick heads up that over this weekend, I'll be tipping all 3 days at Cheltenham, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. And I can also tell you that I'll be putting up a horse who I think is going to be about 40 to 1 as one of my selections for the Friday racing. I think there's some value to be had over the weekend at Cheltenham and also elsewhere at the likes of Wetherby and Uttoxeter and even over in Ireland at Naas. So that is Out in Front. Let me take you to the selection here at SportsBet for Saturday. Now, I'm recording this piece very early indeed, before noon on Thursday. So the markets are going to change a little bit, but it might be well to get in early on this one because at Cheltenham on Saturday, at 2:55, there's a 3-mile handicap hurdle. The advance going is good to soft, and as far as I can see, the weather is not expected to deteriorate any. 13 runners are set to go to pose for this 3-mile handicap hurdle. Now, an interesting newcomer represents red-hot champion trainer Paul Nicholls, who's got a horse called Shearer. I'm not sure if it's anything to do with a sheep or, of course, in honour of the great Newcastle, England centre forward. But Shearer is on a hat-trick after wins in novice company at Worcester and Cheltenham. This is a much tougher race. He's stepping into handicap company against older, more hardened competitors, and he makes his debut in a handicap off a mark of 139, which is fairly high. So I think he'll do well to win, unless he really is a proper dark horse and is ahead of his mark, which who knows, he may be. David Pipe, having a very good season, has got Sidi Ismail, who's back from a break, came back from a break and won at Worcester. couple of weeks ago on soft ground over 2 miles, 7 furlongs, so no fitness concerns for him. And he stays. He's gone up £5. The ground will be no problem. But I think this might be just possibly a little bit hot for him. An interesting one is Sam Drinkwater's runner, Fontana Elise, who won at Fosslas in February over only 2 miles. And that was off a mark of just 111, only a modest mark, but was second on its reappearance over 2.5 miles here at Cheltenham 3 weeks ago. Kept on quite well in the closing stages. The big question is, it's all right, as you know, just keeping on over 2.5 miles, but does he have the stamina to see it out over 3 miles against better horses up the hill at Cheltenham on Saturday? Well, there's only one way to find out, isn't there? And that'll be at 2:55. Another horse for a yard that's doing nicely this season is Annual Invictus for Chris Gordon. Now, this horse hasn't been seen since he pulled up in a Plumpton handicap chase back in May. He's back for the first time over hurdles, and it's quite a long time since February 21. But what a race he ran then, when he was fourth in the red hot Betfair hurdle at Newbury behind Soaring Glory, a horse that I tipped you may remember that day. And well, he's coming back, stepping up to 3 miles from the 2 miles, although he's been running over fences over a trip. Will he stay, though, 3 miles? He's won over 2.5. He's on the same mark as when he was fourth in the Betfair hurdle those 21 months ago, and he comes back from a 6-month break. I'll be watching the market to see if there's any money for Annual Invictus. But the horse for me is an old favourite called Lisnagar Oscar, trained by Rebecca Curtis and the mount of Rob James, who's claiming £7. Rob James coming over from Ireland. He's back up after a suspension. And he's a jockey who's very, very capable of riding big winners, as he did in the Scottish National for Christian Williams, of course. He came over to ride that one and won on Win My Wings, the mare that's just been retired recently. Well, along with On the Blind Side, another older horse who's very, very classy, I think Lisnagar Oscar has got a big chance in this race. He is, of course, the winner of the 2020 Cheltenham Festival Stayers Hurdle, the Grade 1, where he beat Ronald Pump. He's a horse who's had issues with his breathing. He's had wind surgery, but when he's right, he still is a horse who is capable of running very, very well at a fairly high level. First time out last season, he ran very, very well indeed when he was third to the smart Brewing Up a Storm at Aintree over an inadequate 2.5 miles. His form was in and out last season, but he showed he still has got it when he was third to Paisley Park in the Grade 2 Cleve Hurdle over this course and distance, the 3 miles at Cheltenham in January. After that, he pulled up in the Stayers Hurdle and pulled up again at Cheltenham subsequently. Now, I did fancy him to go really well at Aintree last week, but he was a non-runner, which was disappointing. But hopefully, the patience of Connections in selecting this race ahead of the Aintree race last week will pay dividends. This is his first run in a handicap for the best part of 3 years. This is a horse who's been mixing it with the top horses at Grade 1 and Grade 2 level throughout the last 3 seasons. Rebecca Curtis have booked a top Irish amateur rider, Rob James, who's going to claim a very valuable £7, and that will take his mark down effectively to 135. And that means that, in real terms, so to speak, he's going to be getting £4 from the novice Shearer. So here you have a Grade 1 winner back at the scene of his greatest triumph, a horse who ran well first time out last season against a very good horse, and he's getting weight from a novice. So I think he's got a big chance. And I've just seen that the one firm up very early are William Hills. This is before lunchtime on Thursday, so all credit to them for sticking their neck out. And they're offering 12 to 1 each way for 4 places for Lisnagar Oscar. And I think that's value, and I'll be getting on. So he's my selection to give us a very big run for our money at Cheltenham on Saturday in the 2:55. Remember to check out the opportunities that are available in signing up at Out in Front. And also I've started giving my view on racing matters and a few pointers here and there on Twitter. So if you have a Twitter account, you can follow me at Paul at Out in Front. But for now, from me, Paul Alster here at SportsBet for this week, I'm going to say goodbye. Have a great weekend's racing.